Self-isolation rules will be scrapped from Thursday as England learns to live with the virus. The date to end the restrictions, originally the 24th of March, has been brought forward. The Prime Minister announcing the plans to MPs.
We now have sufficient levels of immunity to complete the transition from protecting people with government interventions to relying on vaccines and treatments as our first line of defence. We don't need laws to compel people to be considerate to others. We can rely on that sense of responsibility towards one another, providing practical advice in the knowledge that people will follow it to avoid infecting loved ones and others. So let us learn to live with this virus and continue protecting ourselves and others without restricting our freedoms.
The changes announced include removing all remaining restrictions that are in law, an end to self-isolation rules from Thursday, and an end to free COVID tests from April. An additional booster jab will be made available for the most vulnerable in the spring. The Labour leader criticised the announcement.
This is a half-baked announcement from a government paralysed by chaos and incompetence. It is not a plan to live well with COVID. Thank you.
The Scottish and Welsh First Ministers also voiced their opposition, and some say the decision is premature. For Conservative backbenchers, the announcement brings delight, but some raised concerns over the long-term impact of lockdowns.
Mr Speaker, I warmly welcome the statement that the Prime Minister has made. The Prime Minister will also be aware of growing international evidence that lockdowns have been largely ineffective in preventing COVID mortality. And we're acutely aware of the massive damage which has been done economically and to non-COVID health of the people due to lockdowns. Will he review pandemic planning for the future to make sure these crucial lessons are learned?
Yes, I thank my right honourable friend, and he's right to draw attention to all sorts of studies about the efficacy of lockdowns. We'll look at all the evidence. I happen to think that the collective actions of the British public were indispensable in saving many thousands of lives, Mr Speaker, but I'm sure that all the evidence will be looked at in the course of the inquiry.
David Davis, who recently dramatically told the Prime Minister to leave his job, welcomed the announcement. It means a return to freedoms enjoyed before March 2020 later this week. Jane Worrell, NTD News, London.